Okay, now on page 36B, we're going to go over factoring a quadratic trinomial that is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is greater than 1. Okay? So, the first one we're going to look at is 3x squared minus 17x plus 10. Now, the only difference is, before when we were doing this using the AC method, a was always 1. Now, we actually have to multiply a times c, or 3 times 10, and say what numbers multiply to equal 30, but add up to equal negative 17. So, they multiply to equal a times c, but they add up to b. So this would be negative 15, negative 2. Now, if a was 1, you could use your magic numbers and you would be done. But since a is not 1, this will not work. So now, you have to split this like we did before. You're going to write negative 17x as negative 15x minus 2x plus 10. And we factor by grouping. I take out a 3x, I get x minus 5. Take out a negative 2, and I get x minus 5. And this becomes 3x minus 2 times x minus 5. And then you can mentally FOIL it to make sure you're right. 3x squared minus 15x minus 2x is negative 17x plus 10. Okay, let's look at number 2. We have 4x squared plus 9x plus 5. So now I'm looking for two numbers that multiply a times c to equal 20, but add up to 9. So those would be 4 times 5 is 20, but 4 plus 5 is 9. So 9x gets broken down into 4x plus 5x plus 5, and then I factor by grouping. I take out 4x, I get x plus 1, I take out a 5, I get x plus 1, and that ends up being 4x plus 5 times x plus 1. And again, you mentally FOIL it and make sure you have the right number. Okay, so let's do number 3. So what you should do is try to do number 3 on your own, and then turn this on again, turn it off, do number 3 and 4, turn it on again, and see if you're right. So I'm going to multiply 4 times negative 9 to get negative 36, but add up to positive 9. So that would be positive 12 and negative 3. And I get 4a squared plus 12a minus 3a minus 9. Factor by grouping. 4a, a plus 3, minus 3, a plus 3. So I have 4a minus 3 times a plus 3. And for number 4, 2x squared plus 5x minus 63. So now we're getting into some big numbers here. So two numbers that multiply to negative 126, but add up to 5. So this is harder, and definitely harder to just do in your head and come up with the numbers. So what we're going to do is we are going to factor 126. And this would be 2 and 63, 7 and 9. And then this is 3 and 3. So factors are 2 times 3 times 3 times 7. Now, I want to see if I can group these factors in such a way that they will multiply to equal negative 126, but add up to 5. So first I'm going to group 2 and 3, and I get 6 times 21. That's not going to work. Let's try 2 times 3 times 3. That would be 18 and 7. I'm not going to get 5 out of that. Let's try 3 times 3 is 9, and 2 times 7 is 14. Now look, the difference between those two is 5. And it's positive, which means I'm going to use a positive 14 and a negative 9. Okay? So notice what I did. I broke this down into the prime factors, and then I played with these 4 factors, different combinations to help me find the magic numbers. So now, 2x squared plus 14x minus 9x minus 63, and 2x, x plus 7, minus 9, x plus 7. So I have 2x minus 9 times x plus 7, and that's the final answer.